And it's coming, and we are live now. Everybody can see us out there. Happy Monday night, everybody, with our special guest. A few of you in the comments are already setting up the stage tonight, and that's good. We've got our newest member of the SMWS joining me tonight, Linh Do. I'll let her introduce herself and maybe say a little bit about herself before we get going.
Hi. I wasn't prepared. I was ready to launch into drinking whiskey. I've worked in the field for about 10 years, and I'm just excited to be here. So thank you.
Good. And you're in California, so you're going to be our East Coast or West Coast kind of rep out there. If you're out in the California area, you'll probably be seeing Lynn hosting tastings and communicating with everybody, trying to get things going.
Yes, absolutely.
Now you are on Instagram, of course. You've been big there and been there for a while. What's your Instagram page?
I have a new one because I closed down the big account because that was too sensitive. So I have a small account. It's called Art House Whiskey.
Art House
Whiskey, yeah.
Art House Whiskey. All right.
What?
Go ahead.
Oh, not as much as shenanigans as the old account. Yeah.
So a few years ago, I even knew Lynn on Instagram, and she does some wonderful, what I call kind of artistic prints. But this is an actual Linh Do print of a Compass Box edition. Tell everybody a little bit about this one.
I made this fake label I love the design of A Stranger in Stranger, so I try to make it look like that. It's called Fin de Siècle, and just about the art of decadence and consuming food and alcohol. So that was the name.
It's always two good combinations.
Yes.
Let's go through real quick. We'll do a quick roll call with everybody tuning in, or at least commenting so far tonight. We've had Tom R. was the first one in tonight, and he said, welcome, Linh Do and everyone. Let me come through here. I can highlight a few comments as we go. Mamuka 1977 is here. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome, Linh Do, to the SMWSA family.
Hello.
California Scotty, CA Scotty. Yes, welcome to the SMWSA, Lynn.
Thank you.
Tom R is a big rum fan. He says he's getting ready for us to introduce a rum tonight. No rums tonight, Tom, but maybe a rum finish, a rum maturation. Licurious George, love the name. Tuning in again. Good evening. Whiskey and Wine Trails. Cheers, everybody, and welcome, Linh Do. You're getting a nice reception so far.
Yeah, thanks. We'll see after a few drinks in. They might change their minds. Like, get her out of here.
Yeah. I doubt it. George Kaplan says, hello, everyone. Pouring 125.77 graceful elegance in honor of Linh Do joining SMWS. James Kramer says, evening, everyone. Stewart of Butte, good evening, everyone. Duke McHale, good evening. Borderlander, good evening. A.B. Scott, good evening all. Welcome, Lynn.
Hello.
And that little bong makes me realize I need to silence my notifications for a little bit. There we go. Sean Spaeth, hey everyone. And JT, Justin Taves, tuning in. Ryan Shaw, Ernie, welcome, Lynn from Idaho.
Hello.
Customer is watching, says, welcome, Lynn.
Gosh, everyone's so nice.
Yep, Martin Fielder. That's just for your first time. They're usually not this nice to me anyway. Maybe that's just me. Oh, Women Who Whiskey LA chapter tuning in. Lynn, so excited about your new role.
Yes, we should do tastings together.
Yep. Steve Balzac tuning in. Oil Tasters, howdy, Scott. Welcome, Lynn.
Howdy.
Praveen Mahita tuning in. Good evening, Scott and Lynn. We talked to Praveen quite a bit on the phone. as well as several people watching tonight. So that's a good thing with the phones and YouTube. A lot of people that watch YouTube they like to place their orders on the phone and they call in and like to talk to us. And so you get to meet a lot of these people, over the phone. So works out pretty good. I like it.
Yeah, that's great.
All right. So let's go ahead. We might as well get started. I think we've got 6 whiskeys to do tonight, and we'll try to breeze through them, try to keep this on the rails. But Lynn, if you want to show that first bottle we're going to be tasting, we're starting.
Right.
Cask number, I can highlight you here.
35.316.
Yep.
Fine fragrances. Yes.
Light and delicate profile, Speyside, 9-year-old, first fill barrel, 59.6% ABV, will be available for $115. And I hosted a tasting in Tampa this weekend, yesterday afternoon, matter of fact, went through these whiskeys. All delightful. Very nice Outturn this month. And of course, I do have the list. I'll show you later of all the whiskeys being released tomorrow. I'm not let's see how many there is. We're only doing the 6 tonight. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 whiskeys coming out tomorrow. So, yep, 4 more in addition to these, but I'm ready to get in. I can smell this one right as even for just pouring it. And give you a little look at the color here, everybody. Oops, I still got Lynn highlighted there.
Oh, cool. Thanks. I didn't want to see my face. So.
Yeah, you're like, can you take that down? All right. Color here, about what you'd expect on a 9-year first fill bourbon barrel. Nice, light golden hues. Not much cask influence coming in here at all on the color. And for those of you that are new, if you're watching, we refer to this as cask 35.316. That means that's the 35th distillery that we bought whiskey from. And the 0.316 means that's the 316th cask that we bought from that distillery. And I get just a nice honeyed, lemony, citrusy, vanilla.
Yes. I get a little bit of melons, bell peppers, ghee, butterscotch, back notes of honey and Walker biscuits on the nose.
Oh, I can tell I'm going to have to get my nosing notes up to speed here. Wow. Little bit of spice going on.
Yeah.
What?
No, go ahead. Start drinking. You lead the way, Captain. I can't help it. I gotta.
All right. Now remember too, we got 6 to go through. Small sips. Let's go in. We'll go in neat.
Okay.
This one surprised me right off the bat for being kind of that first whiskey that you start the night off with. You kind of have expectations of what you're going to get. And this one, 9 years old and that light and delicate profile, exceeded it. I thought this one really came through. And I almost thought this would be better juicy oak and vanilla flavor profile. I mean, it almost comes off, it definitely comes off older than 9 years old, and really nice cask influence on this one.
Yes. I was very pleasantly surprised, like what you mentioned. Typically with first fill casks, you get lots of those vanillas and caramel tones, but it's quite complex where there's these top floral notes, a little bit of that jasmine, and then the mouthfeel is just so creamy and buttery. So
yeah. Almost a little bit of a sandalwood too. I just got, as you were describing, floral notes. A little bit of a tangy oak along with it.
I kind of feel like this is the muscles and puppies of whiskeys from this bottling. I'm a huge fan of this kind of expression, just because from what they release, they always seem to produce like very strong flavors, and it's always so fantastic, whether it's in this kind of cask or a sherry cask. So I feel like you get a great bang for your buck for something from bottlings from number 35.
Oh yeah. And just like I brought that up at my tasting as well. We've had several 35s lately, and I think they've all been sherry cask. And this one, for not being sherry cask, but it really, Distillery 35 creates kind of a fruitier, smoother, distillate. And this is really a good look at, Distillery 35 without any wine cask influence on it. Just that straight, first fill ex bourbon.
Yeah. Yeah. I really love this. Oh, am I allowed to say love or no?
Oh, sure. No, yeah.
Yeah. No, this definitely takes me back visiting to this distillery. Somebody in the industry said, "Oh, you should check them out." And I said, "Okay." And I was just really blown away by their expressions. And it's exciting that with Scotch Malt Whiskey Society, we carry cask strength stuff because I think they really shine and they're at their best at cask strength. So it's just really solid.
Yep. A little bit of a vanilla sugar wafer cookie. There's that vanilla wafer biscuit.
Yes, yes.
Erwin Larinaga is asking, Lynn, will you be conducting the SMWS tastings at the Tam O'Shanter's in LA? Will you be hosting those in the future? Do you know?
I'm not sure. I think I am. I know there's one tonight, which obviously I can't make it because I'm down here doing the tasting, but I think so. Yes.
Yeah. JT is saying it's time. I've got to up my game now. Because your nosing notes there. Those are fantastic.
Oh, thanks. I try. I eat a lot too, so I'm always trying to take notes. All right.
Everybody Tom R has a question for you. Just want to know if you have a favorite flavor profile or a target ABV that you kind of like your whiskeys at.
Ooh, that's a tough question because I think sometimes it depends on the distillation process too. And if you're using like direct fire still, sometimes the proof from some distillery can be very high, but because of that method, it feels softer in the mouthfeel. So I think it really depends on my mood. I definitely love smoky whiskeys, but I like cask strength stuff in general. So I guess long story short, it depends on my mood. Yeah, that's the safe answer. I like it all. Look.
I put a pretty healthy drop of water on mine here. We'll see if it changes anything. I don't know, Lynn, do you usually now Jenna didn't like to add water to hers. I would have to convince her to try it with water. And I don't know where you normally would you normally add water to cask strength whiskeys?
I do. I add water and then I also add it with ice because I feel, not to get so cerebral, but I feel like when it comes to whiskeys, it's kind of like analyzing a person. And when you introduce different elements, there's a lot of layers and textures. And sometimes the whiskey will change so much depending what it's exposed to, whether it's food or ice. And so I like to do it that way. And I remember one of my friends, typically when we do tastings and we have peated whiskeys at the end, he showed me a way where you were pairing a smoky whiskey with a non-smoky, and all of a sudden I got these really floral notes that I never saw before. So definitely.
Wow, yeah. Tom R says that I like to add drops of Zima. I've never added Zima, unfortunately.
What is Zima?
What? Zima? It's an old, like a wine cooler malt beverage from the 90s.
Oh.
They reintroduced it a few years back and had kind of a special run of it. It's a clear, it looks like Sprite or 7-Up. And really probably tastes about the same, I think. It was kind of a lemon lime carbonated alcoholic. It predated, the hard seltzers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Zima, the code or the logo was try something different. All right, let's try this with some water.
Okay. All right.
Ooh. All right. Ooh. Fruitier. Fruitier and waxier. Almost a little bit of a waxiness coming out on that one.
Yeah. I get a little bit of macadamia nuts, hints of marzipan and orange zest, and then the finish is long where it lingers with these butter biscuits.
Yeah.
So there's an overtone of white cracked pepper, and
Mhm.
and then when it lingers and it sits in the glass, I definitely get a little bit of lemongrass, and then ginger starts to emerge too. So it's quite complex and really fun.
Yeah, that's nice. And those are some great notes. And like you say, again, for a 9-year-old that's in that light and delicate profile, it's quite complex. There's really a lot going on with it. Don't
Mhm.
underestimate it at all.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's a gorgeous whiskey.
Yes, I actually poured it for a group of people on Friday night, and it was a big hit.
Oh,
Never people didn't hear from Bottling 35, and I was just really being their hype man.
all right, good. Well, I think we're about anything else you want to add on that one?
No, butter biscuits and a little bit of marzipan on the finish if
Good.
you let it linger. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a really fun one.
All right, yeah. Now you've got the bottle. If Jenna would always love to read the notes off of the bottle, you want
Okay,
to give that a go for the viewers?
sure. It says carnations, cherry blossoms, bergamot, blue lady tea, melon, green grapes, candied plums, incense, smoke, charwood, sage, and honey. Basically everything that I did not taste. Just kidding.
I would say I'm about 20 to 30% on the tasting notes that's listed on the bottle. I probably get 20 to 30% of what's so those are pretty detailed.
Yeah.
We'll say.
Maybe.
All right.
Fired after this. Okay, next one. So we got Walk in the Countryside.
28.92.
Mm.
Spicy and dry. This is that sleeper profile a lot of people don't know about, and it's really becoming quite popular because there are some really nice whiskeys that come out in this flavor profile.
Mhm.
And they can, I mean, spicy and dry for a lot of them is pretty accurate, and they can pack a punch to the palate.
Mm.
All right. Oh, what else do we have on this one? 10-year-old Highland, first fill barrel again on our barrel type, 61.5% ABV, $115. Now, a couple of these tonight, our ABVs may be off. I noticed that our bottling information sheet has different ABVs listed than what's showing on the label on our product page. They're close. They're close, but someone's going to notice that. And at this point, I'm not sure which one. I went with the ABV that's showing on the label of the bottles, I believe.
Yes.
It wasn't this one. I think it's going to be a couple of them coming up.
Okay.
I'll have you confirm what's on the bottle and what was listed on the info sheet.
Okay. Got it.
Tom R, he's wanting to know, are the bottles now 700 milliliter? Can you check that first one and this one? I believe they are. I think everything in this Outturn is.
Yes, 700 milliliters.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I forgot. I've been putting that up there too. I forgot to add that on there. It's to that time. We probably only need to label our 750s because there's not that many left, if any, at this point. There may only be a couple of upcoming bottles that are still 750s. 98%, 99% are going to be 700s. So.
Okay.
Yeah, JT is saying, I brought this one up at the tasting, matter of fact, that I hosted yesterday. 13.93, a modern Highlander is one of his favorites in this profile. That one, I mean, that was, that's a distillery that does a lot of sherried whiskeys. That one was not sherried, and I think it was a second fill or a refill bourbon barrel, but that one was outstanding too. And that one was like mid 60s on the ABV, 66 or 67% ABV. It was a phenomenal whiskey in the spicy and dry profile.
Very nice. So what do you get? Aroma,
I get a dried oak and a fresh cracked black pepper. Ooh, that's hot on the nose too.
Yeah. I get hints of green apple, sweetened grass, and that pepper also. Um, when I tasted this first time, it reminded me of a feral cat living on the streets a little too long. I know you give me that look, but it's like a little bit wild. You're like, what's going on? Because see, that what happens is when you're a middle-aged woman and no one marries you, a cat from the streets appear, and then you blink and you have 4 feral cats. And so, not to talk about my personal life a little too much, but this is what.
Save that for the 6th whiskey. We're just
Okay.
I've never heard a feral cat listed in nosing or tasting notes before.
But they're so charming. After you feed them for a while, they kind of soften up, and they might let you.
What I will say, one of the weirdest notes that I ever gave on a whiskey was a sweat-drenched leather saddle on a horse when you're out on a hot summer day in a dusty field.
Oh,
I got that off of a whiskey one time.
Wow, that's so fancy. I don't ride on horses. I just hang out with homeless cats.
They might smell about the same. I don't know. Those are probably pretty close.
I gotta drink some water.
All right, no, definitely spicy on this one. I like the green apples that you mentioned on there. So I was trying to discern what kind of fruit or sweetness I was getting. Really, to me, the cracked black pepper and just the dry oak was real prevalent with it. But I like the green apples as well. So
yeah,
let me show you.
Where'd my sheet go?
Like when it sits in the glass for a little bit, that heat kind of dies off, and then you get these. I get these butterscotch and hay tone aroma.
Oh yeah, color about the same as the first one, but again, it's 1 year older and a first fill ex bourbon barrel, so really about the color that you would expect there. Just that nice light golden hue.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm going in. Cheers.
All right. Yeah, different profile than what we just came from, that light and delicate, that juicy, fruity vanillas. Now we're into definitely peppers, dry oaks, the spicy and dry. Great profile here. I don't think it's as astringent or as dry as some of the others in this profile, but it's definitely astringent. It's definitely dry, just not as much as some has been. Yeah.
I was gonna go peaches. I just got some peaches.
Yeah.
Peach cobbler.
I get, when having it neat, I get almond skins and that pepper, like specifically to moot cracked pepper, which offers like a grapefruit profile of pepper, and you get some of that grapefruit tones.
Yeah. The big almonds that come on charcuterie boards, Marconi
almonds. Yeah.
I've had some that have like a garlic or a black pepper seasoning and stuff on them too. That's almost in here.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna load it with some water. Tame this wild kitty cat. By the way, her name is Tortellini. She's black and white with awesome eyebrows. Okay, what do you get on the nose?
Yeah, still just neat still, but again, that palate that you expect with that spicy and dry. Not too much different. I mean, that was the second sip, so really same as the first. Just really nice palate, expands, takes over, nice finish on it as well. Really soaks in. But I've got a drop of water on here. I haven't taken a sip yet. Let me do that.
Okay. I'm an eager bear. On the aroma, I get honey, orange blossoms, and honey graham crackers. So I think they heat dies down. Like I said, when a feral cat, you're patient, you feed it enough, it softens up, and it's very charming. Scott, you sound like you don't look like a cat person.
I love cats. I don't have any cats. I love all animals. I do. So, and for the most part, animals always get along pretty good with me too. So,
Well, you're just so darn charming, of course.
yeah.
But I definitely enjoy it with water because I think that the alcohol kick dissipates and those honey graham cracker pulls through, and just that orange blossom comes in too, which is nice. Um, Smells better than hay and horse saddle, as you.
Yeah. I'm thinking actually I like the orange peel, orange zest, but it's almost like some of those cocktails you have where you toast the orange peel or you spritz it over the flame into the drink.
Yeah,
Almost like a toasted orange peel.
yeah, totally.
Yeah, Mamuka says that distillery can be up and down for me. I've had our cast that I've had from Distillery 28. I've really liked. Now I've had their off of the shelf bottlings and haven't really cared for those.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you get into that single cask, kind of cask strength whiskey, and it's a completely different beast than the off the shelf bottles can be.
Yeah.
This one's very nice though. Again, great palate. I think it would depend between these first two. I mean, it just kind of depends on what you were in the mood for because they're really quite different. Going just like I said, that really juicy, fruity, vanilla type, notes, complex floral notes into this heavier, spicy, wallop to the palate that hangs in there. And
Yeah. Depends if you want juicy or a wild cat. I'm gonna keep bringing back those cats. JT seems to like it. Thank you, JT. Thank you. But the flavor, what I like about it with water is that it does become sweeter and the honey starts to pull through. There are some grassy tones, and I think on the finish, it's really layered and complex where you get these grassy tones, and then there's a hint of like stone and minerality, and then it links back to that honey profile. So I really enjoyed how it took me on that journey.
Yeah.
So yeah, it goes back to cats not being jerks. They have complex feelings, and I'm sticking to it.
Good. Yep. Good point. Good point. Yep. I like the minerality. Yeah, that's in there. Definitely, almost a little limestone-ish. A little bit of a earthy minerality to it. And Mamuka asking, is it very dry? No, that's what I say. I don't think it's as dry as some of them have been in this profile. It's probably more on that mild to mid-level dryness scale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely spicy, peppery. I like the peppery, almonds there that you gave, and yeah, very nice. Herbal,
Yeah.
mineral. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see what are the tasting notes on the bottle, Lynn?
Okay, so it says daisy chains, cut grass, fields of barley, mixed woodland as we dip cinnamon French toast fingers into a fondant egg while eating roasted Brazil nuts.
Oh.
Wow, that is my breakfast dream.
I think we're about 50% on that one, on the notes.
Yeah, nice. Okay, you want me to pull the third one?
We are ready.
All right. Third. Okay.
And let me get it up there on the board. 82.48, the big yellow.
Yeah.
Spicy and sweet profile on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Highland, 11 years old. Again, first fill barrel, which was neat in the tasting that I ran because we had a 9 in a row here. We've had a 9-year first fill ex bourbon barrel, a 10-year first fill ex bourbon barrel, and an 11-year ex bourbon barrel in 3 different flavor profiles, and they are quite different. So it's kind of neat to see how you can have these whiskeys that are really about the same age in the same type of cask, but produces 3 different types of flavors.
That's awesome.
Let me show you the color on this one. Really, I probably don't have to show you. I can just tell you it's similar to the first two, real close, maybe just a shade darker, but just that nice light golden honey hue to it. And again, just, that first fill ex-bourbon barrel influence here. No wine cask influencing at all. Moving into the spicy and sweet flavor profile.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm curious to hear what you have to say about this one. You're like, Lynn, please, no more cat analogies.
This reminds me of an otter at the zoo.
I do love otters. They hold hands.
Oh, otters are so cute. I love otters. Sometimes you get those questions, what if you could be any animal, what would you be? And a couple of times I've blurted out otter. I'm like, they play in the water and they have no worries, no cares. And, that's their day. Eat some fish.
Oh, fantastic. I just want what's that?
Maltiness really up front on the nose, a little bit darker fruits here, not citrusy. We're moving into some stone fruits, maybe some peaches, apricots, and maybe some berries here on the nose.
Yeah, definitely get that.
A little bit more cinnamon, the spicy cinnamon.
Mm-hmm.
Nice light oaks.
I get a little bit of lemon biscuits and undertones of fresh cut grass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right.
JT says the cats of the sea, referring to otters.
Oh JT, we should be friends. You can email me and we can talk about cats and otters and whiskey. Okay.
I'm getting I was gonna say a little bit of tropical here on the nose, starting to transition into that a little bit.
Yeah.
More like a papaya, not necessarily melon, but like a papaya, maybe even a little banana or coconut.
Yeah, I put papaya in my notes for sure.
Did you?
Yeah. White cracked pepper.
Yeah.
A little bit that pistachio orgeat essence. It's not sweet to me, but it's got a little bit of the aftertaste, and then a grassy finish.
Yeah. That's probably the maltiness. Sometimes the maltiness, I'll get like, a grassy field or a field maltiness.
Yeah.
Very nice. And florals. There's some floral notes coming up right there. I just got on the nose. 60. What's the ABV on this one? Look at the bottle. See if I got
2.8% ABV.
Yeah.
But let me double check on the bottle just to make sure. Yeah, 62.8.
Yeah.
When I first poured this, I felt like initially Mike Tyson like slip jabbed me in the face because it was kind of aggressive. But then when it sat, it definitely softened up. So it's not too aggressive.
Would you say like Mike Tyson in his fighting days or Mike Tyson in the Hangover movie?
Which fighting days when he's punching taller people.
Yeah. That's a heavy punch. I don't think I wouldn't want to get punched by Mike Tyson in the old days or nowadays, either one. So.
Yeah, agreed. But this is what's nice about this whiskey is that when it sits, it mellows out. And I just get the impression that, when you first crack open a fresh bottle, it's a little bit wild. And then when it settles in, the aromas and the flavor starts to emerge and develop, which is nice.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. All right. Cheers.
All right. Okay. Am I using Discord? I don't know what Discord is, Tom.
Discord is another social media app where you can form chat groups, basically. So it's just a chat, an online chat. We've got one for the SMWS. So it can be, they're quite in depth. So actually, I've been in there for a little bit. I need to go tune in and see what's happening. All right, moving back to the whiskey here. This one, 11-year-old, this one feels older. It hits you right up front with just a nice, juicy palate. And like a 14, 15-year-old whiskey really came to mind at first when that hit my palate, just how full and rich it is.
What do you get on the nose with water?
Just got a little tobacco note. I don't remember getting that yesterday. I haven't added water yet, so let's get some on there. Yeah, a little bit of a tobacco note there. Neat. Starting to show itself. Pipe tobacco. Yeah, a little bit sweeter. Still, I like the stone fruits, the berries here.
Yeah.
They're poached, stewed, the stone fruits. Heated up, mellowed. Cinnamons, nutmeg, nutty, a little bit of floralness to it as well.
Yeah.
Really nice. There's a lot on the palate on this one as well. All right, with some water on the nose. Let's see if I can get any.
Yeah. Initially, I got lemon cake, but then now sipping it again, it has that buttery apricot jam.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah. I was gonna say it got fruitier, and a little bit more citrusy. I thought on the nose, a little bit more lighter on the fruit side. So, and some vanilla now too, showing itself. Wow. All right, with some water.
Okay. Oh, let me pour water here. Boop.
Ooh, that almost got a little bit warmer. Almost like ABV rose a little bit with the water I put on there. It burned a little bit, caught me off guard.
Yeah, I almost got this shaved wood, white cracked pepper, a hint of jalapenos, but it's weird because it seems a little bit sweeter, but then also bolder at the same time for me. Like the pepper kind of amped up with water.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably the same with me. Kind of like it felt like the ABV picked it up a notch. It's probably more that peppery, spicy kick that is what it was.
I did try it earlier with ice, and I was really surprised that it sweetened up. And then I got marshmallows laced with honey and orange. But
licorice, red licorice. Honeycomb.
Yeah.
On that charcuterie board, sometimes you get that little slice of the honeycomb on there.
Yes.
Wow. I'm gonna throw a second round of water on this one, just to see. I haven't done that too much, just because I know we got 6 whiskeys to go through, so I'm trying to lighten my load a little bit.
Yeah. It's interesting because I know, like with the bottling's official profile, their core expression at the time when they released a 16-year-old, it was sweeter, just to give a reference point. And this appears to be drier.
Yeah.
But you mentioned that with the bottlings that were released a few months, they all were very, very different.
They can be. I wouldn't say they all are. I would say 3 out of 5 or 4 out of 5 definitely change. I think that's an argument. That's a debate you hear from people a lot, where or people talk about the neck pour. Okay, well, you open up the bottle and you pour that first pour. It's deemed the neck pour. A lot of people disregard it and they'll say, well, you don't want the neck pour because the bottle's going to change. And then the debaters, the argument comes in that it's the same whiskey. It doesn't change and they're the same, which in my opinion, I don't agree with, because I've witnessed what I feel are a lot of bottles that have changed over time. When you give them some air and you let them breathe. I've had a lot of bottles, you open it and you try it and it's good. And you have that profile in your head, and then you put it back on the shelf. And a few months later you go back and you try it again. And it's completely different than what you remember. Or not maybe completely different. Sometimes it's completely different, but a lot of times you're just like, wow, this is definitely, it's gotten sweeter, or the fruitiness is showing more, you're getting more than you remembered from that first time.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Oh, that's interesting. I haven't had people who dump the first bowl and I pour.
Well,
Oh.
some may dump it, but some just are like, don't take that into the first pour is just different. They're like, just, drink it, but don't take notes. Don't, whatever. Let that bottle get some air and breathe, because it's going to change. And then some people tell you there's no change. The bottle stays the same.
Yeah. Do you find that all bottles change, or it depends?
No, that's what I say. 3 out of 5, 4 out of 5. I don't think all of them do, but I think the majority do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I mentioned earlier the official bottling they had a few years back was 16-year, but it was a 15-year.
Ah.
So.
Well.
Okay.
All right, let's get the tasting notes off of the bottle on that one.
Okay. Lemon drizzle cake, marshmallows and quince jelly joined roses, lavender and white chocolate before shortbread combined with kiwis and pine.
Oh, all right. Well, I think we're a little over 50% on our notes that we got from that one.
Nice.
And yeah, we're getting better as we drink.
Yeah. Okay.
Let the record show. Everybody that's watching, we got better.
Yeah. Okay.
And moving on into what I proudly claim I'll say one of my favorite flavor profiles are deep, rich, and dried fruits, which most of the time is going to be our Oloroso matured, Pedro Jimenez matured, our sherry finishes, things like that are gonna. What are you drinking?
What am I drinking?
Oh, that looked good.
Oh, it's just water and Hello Kitty mug.
Oh, I thought it was like a pina colada. No. It looked like it had whipped cream on top. I was like, oh my.
I had to be obnoxious and grab a cat mug. Oh man.
It's a Hello Kitty cup?
Yes. Ben's gonna say, "Oh, Lynn, I need you to have a more normal drinking next time, please."
I'm still trying to get my sample bottle open. I got my lid on this one pretty tight.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Did I change the banner up? Yeah, 64.140. A stroll in the garden.
Mm-hmm.
Deep, rich, and dried fruits. Speyside, 16-year-old ex-bourbon hogshead, and then first fill Oloroso hogshead. This one was, I believe, 13 and 3. 13 years ex-bourbon, 3 years in that first fill. Now check the ABV on the bottle on this one.
Okay. 57.7 ABV.
Okay, that's what it's showing. That's what the bottling sheet had. I think the next one may be different. We'll see.
Okay, good. I have to say, I'm really excited about this one.
Had to get some vice grip pressure on that lid. All right. And I'll show you the color on this one.
All right.
Now we're we're getting a little bit darker here. Definitely some sherry influence here. Not too dark though. I mean, it's definitely not. I think you could not exclusive sherry here, not a sherry bomb on the color. We'll see on the palate what happens on the nose. Oh yeah, there's all that toasted burnt chocolate and toffee.
Yeah. Prunes, dark chocolate, forest cake, a little bit of grapes and walnuts on the aroma. To me, when it comes to California, we don't experience 4 seasons, but this is like Christmas in the fall for me. Oh, yeah. It just has these warm notes.
Jen Current says, this one was my favorite from the tasting yesterday in Tampa, aside from the peat, of course. We haven't got to that one yet. You can't mention that. Maybe there's peat, maybe there isn't. That's the good thing with going to the Outturn preview tastings is you get a sneak peek at the whiskeys, and you even get a chance to order them early.
Ah,
So,
yes.
oh, and Kim KLG223 is tuning in. She says my favorite from the tasting tonight also. Yeah. All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh yeah. Nice. A little bit of coffee. Nice toffee. Caramel brittle, almost like a peanut brittle. Ooh, nice cinnamons, nutmegs, chocolate. A little bit sweeter. A little bit more raspberry. Maybe like maraschino cherry, a little bit lighter.
Yeah.
Syrupy a little bit.
It's amazing to see how that first full Oloroso has such a huge influence, even though you mentioned that it mainly hung out in the ex-bourbon hogshead. So everything you said, I agree with. That dark chocolate, essence of raisin, all these that brittle you mentioned. This one's super awesome.
I think though too, for those watching, definitely it's not a sherry bomb. Definitely one of those kind of a double maturation. We had that ex-bourbon hogshead, and then in the first fill Oloroso. Still for 3 years though of that Oloroso, nice influence here, but it's not that dark, heavy, in-depth sherry where you had that if it would have been exclusive sherry maturation for 16 years, but very nice and great influence here from that cask as well. I just got a little bit of a different note on the nose right there. What was that?
The aroma, you
Yeah.
mean?
I'm still neat. I haven't added any water yet.
Oh, like figs? No.
I don't know. I caught a whiff of something and then it was gone, and I was like, wait, what was that? It was a fleeting glimpse. Let me get a drop of water on it.
Okay.
Ooh. Stewart of Butte says, Scott, we can read the profiles on Lynn's shelf. Well, maybe those aren't the bottles that we're tasting. Even though the next two, maybe those are accurate, maybe they're not. Maybe it's a ruse.
Yeah. So what do you get on the nose with water?
Hasn't really changed it up, I don't think.
I still pick up that chocolate and prune profile, but for me, it transitions into a little bit of orange and cashews.
Maybe a little bit more nuttiness showing and just a little bit more spice. But still just gorgeous, just a great nose.
Yeah.
And a nice finish on it too. From the other sip I took a little bit ago, it's still hanging in there. I'm still tasting it. I'm going to try it with some water.
Yeah. Yeah, like you mentioned how it just hangs in there. It just feels like a turtleneck sweater worn in fall or winter. So it's snuggle season, guys and gals.
Grab that homeless cat and get some snuggling time.
That's right. I know that homeless cat won't let me touch her, so I guess I have to hug myself, Scott. This has officially turned into like me not talking about the bottles, but pinching myself out to get married.
We're getting introduced to Lynn tonight. Put it that way. Water didn't really change this one up, I don't think. Maybe just making it a little bit lighter, a little bit sweeter. Maybe that some of the brown sugar, a little bit of some more fruitiness showing a little bit, I think. A little bit more caramel.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, I'm gonna add more water because when I had it with a little bit, it tasted drier to me with white cracked pepper.
Oh.
But I'm gonna add more water just to see.
Ooh.
Okay, with more water, it does get sweeter, but the heat kind of kicks in for me.
You think it's hotter with the water?
Yeah, but I get coffee, Black Forest cake, cherry peppers, and prunes. Prunes is such like an unsexy description, but
yeah,
it doesn't taste like prunes. It just has essence of that kind of dried red fruit tone.
Yeah. Well, and that's what you'd expect with Oloroso, is that the fig, the prunes, the raisins, that, drier, spicier. And really it's here. I just think with a little bit of water, it got a little bit sweeter and almost a little bit more of the brown sugar showing. But again, that's probably that because of that double maturation and not just being exclusive Oloroso.
Yeah.
Bourbon Hogshead is starting to show itself a little bit more it's pushing through some of that sherry with the water.
Yeah. See that.
All right, let's get some tasting notes from the bottle and let's see how close we were.
Okay. Aromatic and floral with prune tart, Peshwari naan, eat that every day. Grapes, candied walnuts, marmalade, and charcuterie.
Okay.
I need to go get me some naan. All right. Are we ready for the next one?
The next one, some people have seen on your shelf. They pointed out, they said, oh, that fifth one looks like it's got a nice label on it.
Oh, boy. So since I'm new, can you educate me about the golden label versus the...
Yeah. So generally, one of our flavor profiles is Old and Dignified. So some of these whiskeys, really a handful of our whiskeys, when the tasting panel tastes them, get into that Old and Dignified profile. And then sometimes we get the Old and Dignified, but we stick with a flavor outside of the Old and Dignified flavor profile, which is kind of a maroon color. You may get like the Old and Dignified bottle with the gold label, but they kept it in this case, like in the deep, rich and dried fruits profile. You can see these with peated whiskeys, any of the flavor profiles really, but a handful of these that are older that they really feel like are, outstanding whiskeys are going to get that black label and that gold embossed. So now so that's a handful of our whiskeys. So now a handful of these whiskeys are then going to get that Vaults collection, designation moving up and a little bit older in age and stuff. So it's kind of a 85-90% of our whiskeys, get the white label, 5% get the black label designation, and then maybe 2 or 3% get I know my percentages didn't add up there. Somebody is out there counting. But you get the rest. That was a rough estimate.
Got it.
Was like a 50-50-50.
Good.
But no, 20-year-old here, Speyside, and like you pointed out, it's got the black label or gold embossed. Ex-bourbon hogshead here, and then a first fill Oloroso hogshead. Now this one is the one that the label on our product page is showing 58.1, but the label on the actual bottle is showing 60.
It says 58.1 on this label.
Does it say 58.1 on there?
Yeah.
Let me see. Because our bottling info sheet has something different. What is it? 44,169?
Yes.
So will be interesting to see here. Yeah, see, their bottling info says 60.6%. And I think that's what we had at the tasting on the sheet that we had there.
I couldn't find the tasting sheet, so I
Oh,
had the label and type stuff.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right.
All right.
This one. I remember this one from the tasting. So
Mhm.
let's get the color shown here with this one. Little bit darker than the last one. Of course, 20 years old, so 4 years older. But again, nice, rich. You can definitely tell sherry influence here. This one, again, I mean, I kind of mentioned it, that double maturation. This one was 17 and 3, so 17 years ex bourbon and 3 years again in the first fill Oloroso hogshead. So, and I don't know if you can see going side by side, if you can tell. Here's the one we're getting ready, the 44 169. And the one beside it is the one we just did that's a little bit lighter.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I wish this was my perfume. It
uh,
smells like a brown sugar, a little bit of the sandalwood and leather and honey graham crackers
mm,
and oak. It's just there's
oh,
some parts of like when you visit a distillery and you go to a Dunnage warehouse and you just can smell the aroma and it's just magical. So I can't describe it. You just have to go to Scotland and just drink your way through the distilleries. It's oh boy. I love this one. Am I allowed to say that I love one?
I see Whiskey Throttle tuning in from Canada.
Mhm.
He's probably already sitting in some snow.
Oh.
Yeah. The nose on this one compared to the one before, I mean, it's darker. Yeah, the leather, the old books on the nose, all those dark, nice toffees. There's a, there's a nice meatiness, kind of
Mhm.
savory to it on the
Mhm.
nose. But
Yeah,
I'll get in on the palate neat here.
yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
Hmm.
Oh yeah. I mean, now we're into the chocolate covered cherry cordials, kind of a dark chocolate covered, almost a Luxardo cherry covered in dark chocolate, nice and
Hmm.
rich.
Yeah. I get those dark chocolate profiles, cocoa powder, honey biscuits, and raisins, but on the finish because it has this savory tone to it. Not totally meaty like prosciutto, but it's almost like smoked ham, like a sweetness and a salty that kind of comes out towards the end. Like I don't know if you get that, but
Some salt. There's some salted nuts in there.
mhm,
Um, yesterday at the tasting, we had some people think this was lightly peated, and it
mhm,
shouldn't be. As far as I know, Distillery 44 doesn't peat,
yeah,
but Distillery 44 does use, the worm tubs in the distillation process, which are, the copper lines. It
mhm,
produces kind of a savory, sulfury type note. Sometimes there's a hint of that in here,
mm,
which we've seen with Distillery 44 on some of our bottles. And I
mhm,
think that's what some people were confusing with a light peat on this one. I mean,
mhm,
there's definitely some of that Distillery 44 character in here, hiding in there with those sherry notes.
yeah. I really like bottlings from this distillery just because I think it has that creamy texture.
Mhm.
Like for me, when I don't in a cheeky way, I jokingly tell people I don't drink wine because it's fruit juice pretending to be alcohol. But I just love I don't even drink whole milk. I look for 11% fat milk. So I just find that this distillery typically has that creaminess. So to me, it's just really exciting. I love stuff from this. Um, can I say distillery or bottling number? And I
Yeah.
think it's great. Like for me, this is like, and I keep on bringing up weird analogies, but I'm just gonna go for it. This to me is like a man who has a 401k and he has his stuff together. Like, I don't know what that is. I think it's just a marathon. So it's
Yep.
basically kind of like you, Scott, just
It's-
very responsible, awesome, amazing. And you plan your life and, you got out of retirement and you back on working because you just
it-
are a man with a plan. And to me, this is like, I think this is a great deal for a 20-year for 275. This is a steal. To me, I know the economy is a little bit at a downturn, but this is for, I think, somebody, let's say, who can afford a Lambo, but does some research and realizes an Audi R8 with it has a V10 engine, which is the same from a Lambo Huracan. So that's like you save 60 grand on that. You find these little hidden treasures that are just great banging deals. And like I would just take it from somebody's. I just really like this.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And well, probably because of distillery, that 44 character, the extra 4 years of age here. This one has a little bit more even sherry oomph to it and even more meatiness, savoriness, I think, because of that kind of sulfury note, than the one we just reviewed, 64.140, which even at my tasting yesterday, the room was probably split half and half on their favorites. I mean, a lot of people like, the 64 better, and a lot of people like the 44 better. So each one kind of had its own, thing going. But yeah, this one is definitely, it's a lot more kind of sherry depth still. I mean, this one's probably pushing sherry bomb boundaries more so than the 64 was. But even that meatiness or that savory, sulfury note is going to turn some people off. So it kind of depends. Like if you don't like sulfur, you don't like that meatiness, you're probably not going to like this one. But those that do, this one, it's a great whiskey. It's from the start, through the finish, hangs in there. Great palate, and with water.
Oh, yeah. I rambled and I forgot. For letting me talk your ear off. I was so excited about this one.
Mm-hmm. So it's like the unicorn male is what you're saying. The good looking guy, has
Yeah.
the job, is secure, financially, he's responsible,
Yeah.
smells good, looks good.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
this. That's this
Just like
bottle.
you, a strong jawline that can cut a wine glass, Scott. Absolutely. Tomorrow there's gonna be somebody like, Lynn's a creeper and she hit on me and I have a girlfriend. She's gonna beat it up. Tell her I have a upper body strength of a 6-year-old boy and I can't defend myself. Just be gentle.
JT says 401k new tasting note.
Yes. It's so bad. I still don't know what a 401k is. It's I just basically need somebody to adopt me, and I'm an adult middle-aged person, which is terrible, but I can provide you whiskeys, cook you some chocolate souffle.
It's someone to adopt you and your cat. Don't forget.
Yes, cats, because I'm a feral cat lady. Okay, what flavors you get out of this with water?
Yeah, I don't know. I got a little distracted there.
Sorry.
I don't know that water changing this one up that much. Actually took a little bit of the edge off of it, a little bit of the bite. Really just kind of smoothed it out, mellowed it out a little bit. Still just maybe a little bit more of a milk chocolate or caramel showing.
Yeah.
Still nice leathers and tobaccos though as well. Nice meaty, a little bit of and I think this was there before. I'd mentioned a meatiness, savoriness. It's kind of those Italian meats on that charcuterie board we've mentioned a couple of times, but it's that salami, and prosciutto. Yeah, I like it. I dig it.
Well, JT knows what a Roth IRA is. I don't shade tea. Would you like to adopt me? Yes, I prefer this neat because I like it a little bit more full and wild, like an Audi R8. Um, so it's it dries. It gets a little bit dry with water. I mean, you still get that creamy profile, but those confection notes of dark chocolate doesn't seem to be as apparent with
Yeah,
water.
I think so. No, like I think the dark chocolate went away. It got a little bit more milk chocolatey. Um, what else did you say? Something went away.
Um, Um, just the kick, that
Yeah,
creaminess uh, isn't as apparent.
right,
It's
right.
still there.
Oh yeah, still good, still good. I think I'm almost in the same boat though. I really like that one neat,
Hmm.
and I think, but it was really that bite and that savoriness to it that the water almost took away,
Yeah,
mellowed out. So I like, and that's going to be odd to a lot of people watching because a lot of times I like it. I like our whiskeys with water. That one I actually think I like neat.
yeah.
So
Oh,
yeah, let's get some tasty notes off of that bottle.
okay.
And we'll move on to the sixth one of the night.
It should have Scott's name on here. But
Yeah.
raisins and burnt ends in clarified butter, plus malt loaf with grape and black cherry jam. Reduction delivers French toast in a wooden box with a side of Battenberg cake.
Battenberg cake. I don't know what that is. Somebody will know.
It's marzipan, I think, cake shaped
Ah.
in a square. That's all I remember from British baking show. Oh, wow.
Joe Combs is tuning in. He says his 13s came in today. He's talking about the 2-bottle bundle from Distillery 13 that we released. He says plan on getting into them later this week. And Brad Woods also just cracked open my first pour of Hints of a Matchbox 35.310. That was from the last Outturn. That was a very nice deep, rich, and dried fruits release as well.
Ah, okay.
Hey, Scott, I know this is supposed to be a subtle cue. Tug your left ear if there's going to be a Black Friday sale. I'll just say generally in the past, there has been. I'm not in charge of that department, but if I was a betting man. All right, number 6.
Okay.
And this was the one I alluded to with Tom R. I think he picked up on it. Maybe he knew. Some people get into the UK releases ahead of time and they know what's coming. But we've got a Distillery 66 here, 66.238. 11-year-old peated 60. Now this one's 62.3%. I think this one was consistent. That was right. Double maturation here, ex bourbon barrel, and then a refill ex Trinidad rum barrel. $125 on this one.
Mm-hmm.
And all right, how do you do with peat, Lynn?
I love peat.
Okay.
Yes. Do you like peat?
Yes. Now it took me. I'm not afraid to say it took me 2 or 3 years to start to like peat. At first, I didn't like peat at all.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. Now my girlfriend, and she's tuning in. She tasted Lagavulin 16 for the first time, and she was off and running. She loves peated whiskeys. So I'm there now. I love it, especially if you take something peated and sherried. That's my jam.
Good to know. Okay.
So, but this one surprised me yesterday, even on first sip at the tasting yesterday. But the nose, sweet, sugared, lemons, smoked, grilled lemons. It's almost like you're on the beach and you're grilling some citrus fruits. You're grilling almost like some whitefish, and you've got a skewer with some lemons and some oranges, apples on it that's on the grill also.
Oh, nice. Do you barbecue? Can you make some food and send it?
I do barbecue, yes.
I get lemongrass and orange marmalade. A little bit of that smoked char, a hint of that Jacobson salt.
Jacobson salt. Never heard of
Yeah,
it.
I hope I don't sound pretentious when I get really specific on flavor.
Not at all. No, that's good. What's Jacobson salt though?
It's just really large salt crystals, and they're really delicious.
Oh.
You can put it on seafood or just crush it up and put it on a margarita rim.
Oh, yeah. Good.
I went through a phase of studying seasoning just to figure out like the level of saltiness because I was very curious about understanding salt levels and smoke levels when it comes to different types of whiskeys. So yeah, I'm really good at making whiskey not fun.
There we go. Just had my first typo of the night. I forgot to change the name on this one. I'd copied and pasted and changed everything but the name. This one is named Blackbeard's Treasure, not tarred and refeathered. That was last month's as well.
I love the name. One thing that's really cool, what I learned recently about rum is that it's not all sugary sweet stuff. There's some rums out there that can offer that funky minty profile, and I think this particular whiskey offers lots of layers, and it's really fun because I get a little bit smoke and then these underlying tones of biscuits. And for me, I pick up like medium to light smoke, but I would love to hear your take on it.
Yeah, I think so. And actually, even at the tasting, I was like, this is one of those like 50% peat, 50% sweet, which will get it's going to show itself more on the palate too. But no, yeah, this is, I mean, so we have three different peated, profiles: lightly peated, peated, and heavily peated. This is in the peated category, which I agree with. I think that's where this one is. I was going to say though too, I just on the nose, I got a little bit more of an industrial peat, which I didn't get yesterday. So, and I was explaining to some people at the tasting the difference between Isla peat and Highland or mainland peat. Some people are really good about the differences in that Isla peat. I don't know if my palate is there. Sometimes I can tell. That Isla peat sometimes just gives you that more earthy. Sometimes it's a medicinal smoke, but then sometimes your Highland peat is heathered, or it's in kind of an industrial type smoke peat. And but sometimes even me, as much as I've sampled and reviewed, sometimes even for me, it's hard to tell, is this an Isla blind? Is this an Isla peat or a Highland or a mainland peat? So this one, let's see though. I just got that industrial note on there on the nose, a little bit more of like an oil smoke, which is more indicative to me of a Highland peat. But
yeah,
let's see on the palate.
Yeah, I find Highland peat to be a little bit sweeter, almost like barbecue blaze, like some mesquite wood almost, versus stuff from Isla has a saltiness that comes into play. Like Kolila, for example, has a very distinct salty peppercorn smoke spice.
Yeah. So I still, I'll stand by my 50% peat, 50% sweet. Really nice influence here from that rum barrel. And I think that's probably what's bringing in some of this sweetness. Blind, would I be able to tell you, those are rum notes, and this was rum cask? I don't know that I'd be able to tell you. Maybe with some more time and some more in-depth. But like right up front, I can just tell it's really sweet. Not really sweet, not overly done, sweet. Well, and now I say that right there, I just got some molasses. Yes. Yeah. Yep. It's, yep. Maple.
Yes.
I hope that's not your belly.
Oh, that's just me grunting and agreeing with you. Molasses, yes.
I think there was a car going by or something outside.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I just got it though. As I was describing, I don't know if I'd be able to tell you, but then all of a sudden, there was kind of that maple molasses note came in. But it's some rum finished matured whiskeys. There's a certain bourbon, real popular bourbon on the shelf, that's rum cask finished. That to me it's overly done. It's way too sweet, way too much rum influence on it. Some people in the comments, I'm sure, will know which one I'm talking about.
I'm curious. This has
Oh,
a beautiful balance of that
yeah.
that sweet and smoke. It's kind of like, with chocolate chip cookies or like salted caramel. That salt just cuts through the sugar and it creates that beautiful balance. And I think that caramel or that molasses profile just balances with the smoke, just fantastic for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm definitely getting it now, just slightly on the finish. Now, once it kicked in. So very nice. But yeah. What else am I getting here? I mean, it's lots of vanilla, almost a vanilla extract, vanilla ice cream type.
Mhm.
Oh, you know what? Fried vanilla ice cream. You ever had fried vanilla ice cream?
No, tell me more.
So yeah, some restaurants do it. They'll have like a cinnamon crust on it, and
Oh yes.
they drop it in like a fryer just for like a few seconds, just
Oh
to coat the cinnamon crust on it. Oh, there's a place in Tampa called Eulalie. It's gorgeous,
Mhm.
beautiful. They have it, wonderful.
Oh wow. I love everything deep fried. When you throw in the ice cream, I'm all in.
Oh wow! I tell you what, now I can't. And Jen, you're watching. I don't know if you're drinking this one with us. Do you think you get that fried vanilla ice cream here, cinnamon crust? That just hit me. That's yeah.
Mhm.
Mm. Mm. And that's neat. I still haven't added water. This one's just gorgeous. A little bit of a mintiness, almost a chocolate mint, Andes mint
Yes.
with
On
it.
the finish.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Very nice.
I'll be honest, Scott. This is our last bottle, and I definitely need like a lot of carbs after this. Like a college kid who just had a lot of Pabst Blue Ribbon, and I'm ready to do cartwheels.
It's 3 a.m. and you just got home and you're like, oh, what's in the fridge? Oh,
Yes.
yeah, Jen's agreeing. She with the fried ice cream, the cinnamon crust. She says totally.
Mm.
She's taking a flask of it with her the next time she goes to Eulalie. Duke McHale wants to know: are you losing the peat? Not at all. Nope. Still nice smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice peat influence here. Wow, that rum cask is really nice on that finish. That's
Mhm.
really, and I've got that fried vanilla ice cream on my brain, and that's all I can think about now.
Mhm. Yeah.
Mm. All right, well, let's get some taste. You got anything else you want to add? If not, let's do the tasting notes on the bottle, and we can wrap it up.
Oh,
We're an hour and 20 minutes in.
Oh, okay. All right. Captain Blackbeard's. I can't read this because I only went to public school. The root flavored whiskers shook as cannons fired from the ship's deck. Oh boy. But the treasure was saved for us. This is very abstract.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is
Yeah, we were 100% on our tasting notes on that one.
Okay.
All right, so let's get in. Let's show you what's coming out tomorrow. By the way, someone mentioned earlier too, through the end of the year, 3 bottle orders get free shipping as long as you order 3 bottles. Yep, coming up, GCAP. Let me get my list up here. Do that. Let me share my screen. We want to share. No. Yes. There we go. Trying to capture a different screen. Browser can't access my screen. Try capturing a different screen to see if this continues. There's a little error message I'm getting. Why would it not? Let me try a different. If I share my whole screen. Oh, here we go. Let's try that. Here we go. Let me enlarge that. There we go. That's everything. 10 whiskeys coming out tomorrow. Wait for the comments to roll in there. Everybody take your screen grab picture of that. Hopefully you can see it. Can you see it, Lynn? Can you tell? Or anybody watching?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 whiskeys coming out. Everybody got it? I'm shutting her down.
All right.
Yeah, screen grab. Everybody got it? Exit. Done. Stop sharing.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. There, AB Scott got it. I was wondering. I knew somebody would pick up on that. Yep. Distillery 29, highly popular Isla distillery coming out tomorrow. 11. It's an 11-year-old ex-bourbon cask, peated category, of course. That one will be probably pretty popular. I would encourage, let's see, those are going to hit the market at 1 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. Anybody that's interested in that probably needs to be on the site within the first couple of hours. 29s are hugely popular, 33s, 24s. I'm trying to think what else goes pretty quick, but. All right. Well, Lynn, welcome to the Scotch Malt Whiskey Society. Hopefully tonight wasn't too bad for you.
Thanks, Scott, for putting up with me.
That's a great first showing. I think you're going to have a hard time, meeting these expectations every time now when people watch. They're going to expect the Lynn from tonight.
All right. Let's see if I come up with more creative animal analogies or a hot dude with a 401k.
Yeah. That's why it'd be like one of those firemen, from the calendars that you see.
I do have embarrassing failed dating experiences I could share in the future. Where if you have a bad day and you feel bad about yourself and I share a story, you would think, oh, thank goodness I'm not Lynn. And yeah, there's plenty of those stories.
Well, yeah, you're going to have to, make sure you kind of spread those out. You don't want to drop those all at one time. You want to just kind of parcel those out a little bit here and there.
Yes.
So. All right. Well, hey, thanks to everybody that tuned in. Appreciate it. And thanks to Lynn for joining me. I think, Lynn, you did a great job. Nosing and tasting notes. Outstanding. Nothing to worry about. I think you could do this on your own. So, what?
No way. I'm letting you lead. You're the captain.
All right. Well, hey, again, thanks to everybody that tuned in. Appreciate it. And remember, as we say on the back of every almost every Scotch Malt Whiskey Society bottle, there's a few labels that don't get it, but it says Scotch Malt Whiskey Society whiskeys are not for swigging, glugging, or knocking back. Please drink responsibly. Cheers.
Cheers.